না স্যার, প্লেস অফ আর্ট ইন এডুকেশন ওটা নেই।
ওটা নেই সিলেবাসে? যা,
স্যার আমাদের হাফ ইয়ারলিতে ওটা নেই।
ও হাফ ইয়ারলিতে নেই, এখন হাফ ইয়ারলি পড়ানো হচ্ছে। ওকে, নো প্রবলেম। হাফ ইয়ারলিতে না থাকুক, আমার খুব ইচ্ছে ছিল ওই চ্যাপ্টারটা করানো। ওকে, নো প্রবলেম, উইল ডু সামথিং এলস। তাহলে অন্য কিছু তোমাদের হাফ ইয়ারলিতে কি কি আছে একটু বলো তো। হাফ ইয়ারলি কবে তোমাদের?
স্যার টেক্সট বুক থেকে তো হাফ ইয়ারলিতে কার্মা আছে, লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড আছে, আর জিমি ভ্যালেন্টাইন আছে।
আচ্ছা, তিনটে গল্প আর কবিতা।
আপন ওয়েস্টমিনিস্টার ব্রিজটা আছে, আর
আচ্ছা,
দ্য সিক্রোজ আছে, আর মিটিং অ্যাট নাইট।
মিটিং অ্যাট নাইট আছে। ওকে, বুঝতে পেরেছি। তার মানে ওই দুটো হচ্ছে সেকেন্ড, নেক্সট টার্মে হবে হয়তো, হাফ ইয়ারলির পরে যখন ফাইনাল এক্সাম তখন। আর আর এই এটা মাইন্ডস্কেপস থেকে। আর শেক্সপিয়ার থেকে ম্যাকবেথ আর ওথেলো ছাড়া আর কি কি রয়েছে তোমাদের?
ম্যাকবেথ ওথেলো ছাড়া স্যার ওই সেকেন্ড চ্যাপ্টার অ্যাজ ইউ লাইক ইটটা রয়েছে।
আচ্ছা, অ্যাজ ইউ লাইক ইট রয়েছে, ঠিক আছে। আজকে আমরা একটুখানি অন্য, আজকে আমি একটু মাইন্ডস্কেপ যখন ভেবেইছি, উই উইল ডু সামথিং ফ্রম মাইন্ডস্কেপ। ওকে, তোমরা সুইচ অফ করে দাও, মাইকটা সুইচ অফ করো। লেট মি গো থ্রু ইট। You have already done Leela's friend, Karma, Jimmy Valentine. And here you have Westminster Bridge, meeting at night, and the sick rose. Let me start with a little bit with RK Narayan, because এটা একটা revision হয়ে যাবে. And let me see how far you have done these chapters, because these chapters you've already done. Srirampur girls, are we on the same page? Like, is it the same syllabus for you too? Just let me know yes or no. If there is a change, you just have to mention that. Srirampur girls, are we on the same page? Like, are we having this, do you have the same syllabus as Shipur boys, or is it something different? Just a minute, I need to attend this call. I'll just call. Continue. Jai Ram Krishna. Yes, yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, I'm having this Vivek-Disha class now. Just after this Vivek-Disha class, I do have classes, but if you wish, I can meet you. Oh, okay. So my free time is after 2:30. Hey, 3:30, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. 2:30 to 3:30, I have fifth year. And from 1:30 to 2:30, I have first year. Yeah. Yes, Maharaj. Sure, Maharaj. I can do that. From Tapobrata. Okay, okay. I'll be. Sure, Maharaj. Sure, Maharaj. I shall do that. Thank you. Jai Ram Krishna. Okay, so without much ado, like without kind of, yeah, Srirampur girls, would you like to kind of let me know about your syllabus? বেরগ্রামের সিলেবাসটা একটু বেরগ্রাম স্টুডেন্টসরাও যদি বলো, যদি সকলের এক থাকে তাহলে তো আর কিছু বলার নেই। ও ইয়া, শ্রীরামপুর কি লিখছে? আমাদের লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড কর্মা জিমি ভ্যালেন্টাইন আছে। ওকে, ফ্যান্টাস্টিক। আমাদের মাইক খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। ওকে, ওকে, Srirampur, thank you. So I think it will be the same with Beargram as well. So let's start with Leela's friend. And we will look into RK Narayan. Uh, just, just a minute. One minute. I was not aware of this, so. Okay. So, as you know, R.K. Narayan is an Indian writer and who is very famous for his Malgudi days. When we were children, we would see the Malgudi days serial. And if you remember the very interesting character Swami, and we had an interesting experience seeing Malgudi days. We used to love to see that almost, I think it was on a Sunday morning, we would see Malgudi days. I don't remember the day properly, but it was. And he was born today. It was so interesting that we are dealing with R.K. Narayan and today is R.K. Narayan's birthday. আজকে R.K. নারায়ণের বার্থডে 10th অক্টোবর 1906 সালে 10ই অক্টোবর 1906 সালে তার জন্ম আজকে তার জন্মদিন তো এবং আমরাও R.K. নারায়ণের একটি R.K. নারায়ণের একটি গল্প আজকে আমরা করব পড়াশোনা এবং তার মৃত্যু হয় মে মাসের 2001 সালে 13ই মে 2001 সালে So he was an Indian writer, a novelist who wrote in English. And he wrote about this very dreamy, imaginary. This was not a real town. Malgudi was not a real town. It was an imaginary town that he had imagined, he had built in his mind. And that was this South Indian town. And it had all South Indian features. And out of that came this wonderful story, the Malgudi days. And along with him, I think in the last class, not with you, it was with some other, I think class 12, I was discussing Mulk Raj Anand. So they were like Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao, R.K. Narayan. They were the Indian writers who wrote in English. So these were Indian writers who specifically were famous for writing in English. And Narayan was friendly, or rather he was a friend of a very famous writer named Graham Greene. And 1 second, I have to receive this. Hello. Okay. The total okay. Sure. Just give me a minute. This was an urgent call. Give me a minute. Sorry, today. Okay. So that is what. And then he wrote another famous film. He wrote a novel named The Guide, which again won the Filmfare Award for Best Film. And this guide was a novel written by R.K. Narayan. Many compare Narayan's work with the famous American writer William Faulkner. Faulkner has this writing style of stream of consciousness kind of a writing, but he also dealt with the Southern American culture. So similar fictional town Faulkner builds up in his novel. So here also we see R.K. Narayan doing something like Faulkner. Many compare Faulkner with Mopasa also. So he belonged to a Tamil Brahmin family, and he was born during the British period. He was educated in Madras Christian College, and he was so much into literature. He would read Charles Dickens, P.G. Wodehouse, Arthur Conan Doyle, Thomas Hardy. All these literary figures influenced him a lot, and he would be very fond of reading their work. So if you are interested in his biography, we will read more, we will find out more. But before that, I would like to share a small interview of R.K. Narayan so that you can see the writer yourself, and you can also hear him and his ideas. So we will listen to one of his interview now, and then we will continue with the chapter Leela's Friend. Please see the interview. It's something you will love the interview, I hope. It's an audio interview, so you will hear him. Then I will show a little bit of a video of R.K. Narayan, where it's like, remembering him. But I want you to hear him. Sorry, it's not a video, it's an audio. So you won't be able to see him, but you will be able to hear him. And I want you to hear him. And this interview has been taken by another great scholar, Dr. U.R. Ananthamurthy. So
5 लाख
ನೆನಪಿನಂಗಳ ಧ್ವನಿಮುದ್ರಣ ಭಂಡಾರದಿಂದ ಆಯ್ದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ.
My attitude about I have read it again now, and I think it's a great book. I like it more than I liked it when you gave it to me.
I see.
That's also because as a writer I have changed, and I am not
this voice that you hear is R.K. Narayan's voice.
sure of things as I used to be in those days. Then I would have agreed with Naipaul that R.K. Narayan is not really a very serious writer, something like that he says, that you don't find any serious complaint with India. India will go on, and Narayan is not disturbed, he said. I would have agreed with him then, but not now. I have changed my attitude about what a writer can do about socio-political and cultural questions.
What is it? What can he do?
I agree with you now. That's what I meant, you see. I would have been a little impatient in those days, but not now. Particularly when I read your book again, My Days, I was very deeply moved for various things. Number one, your tone. I think your vision is in your tone. It's a great achievement, really. Not putting it in so many words, but in the very manner of saying things. A certain vision of life comes through. And the second that impressed me was your account of Mysore.
That's more important.
Yes.
More important than anything else.
Yeah, and also your account of the Maharaja's College. What you saw from the
They're presented monstrously, you know, as they're doing now everywhere. You see advertisers, if you see the weekly magazines and so on, of textile advertisers, they present
Okay. So that was just, I wanted to hear his voice a little, just to kind of get the feel of how he speaks. And now we will see one small little, another interview. It's not an interview, it's a small presentation.
अरे यार शाहरुख, काश की एक किचन में हिट फिल्म की रेसिपी होती है ना सर। हर पिक्चर के अंदर सही दिखा।
So I'll show this small video, another video also, which you will like.
No matter where in India you grew up, this simple tune would immediately take you back to the times of Malgudi days and the grand storyteller behind it all, R.K. Narayan. A simple man from a simpler age, whose literary works continue to weave technicolor emotions in the hearts of his readers. Born the 10th of October 1906 in Madras, Narayan spent his early childhood there with his maternal grandmother, studying for 8 years at the Lutheran Mission School and the CRC High School. He would go on to obtain his bachelor's degree from the University of Mysore and begin his career in his father's footsteps as a school teacher, later quitting when the headmaster asked him to work as a physical training master instead. Narayan was drawn to writing and would contribute to a few English magazines and newspapers before starting his own publishing company. The year 1935 saw him begin his writing career with Swami and Friends, set in the fictional town of Malgudi, which would later be turned into one of modern India's most cherished teleserials.
भारत में अंग्रेजों ने पहला कदम कहां रखा? मालगुडी सर। शांत रहो, शांत रहो।
Among his other works are The Bachelor of Arts, The Dark Room, The English Teacher, Waiting for the Mahatma, and The Man-Eater of Malgudi. R.K. Narayan was presented the Sahitya Akademi Award for The Guide in 1958, which was later turned into the Bollywood classic by the same name. He was conferred the Padma Bhushan in 1964 and nominated to the Rajya Sabha in 1989. R.K. Narayan passed away in 2001, but continues to weave magic through his stories and his characters.
So that was a brief introduction to the writer that we are dealing today. So you have all done Leela's Friend. Can you briefly tell me the story of Leela's Friend? Who can tell me the brief story of Leela's Friend? Anyone? Choto Kure, you can tell it to me in English or also in Bangla, the story of Leela's Friend. What is the story? What is Narayan talking about in this story? And then definitely we will discuss more, but you have already done it. So I want to hear from you. Srirampur girls can't speak because their mic is not working, but from Begram and Shibpur, we would like to hear. Begram and Shibpur. Yes. Kyo ekjon bolo amake Leela's Friend er golpota ki? কেউ বলতে পারবে না? এটা হতেই পারে না। বলো। It is from Malgudi days. Leela's friend of Malgudi Days থেকেই নেওয়া হয়েছে. It's an episode from Malgudi Days. So, can anyone tell me what the story is all about? Okay, tell me who are the characters in the story. এইভাবে চলি. Can anyone tell me who are the main characters in the story? বলতে পারবে?
স্যার সিদা এন্ড লীলা।
Okay, main characters are Sida and Leela. Okay. Can you tell me who are the other characters? Other important characters?
Sir, Leela's mother, Mr. Shiv Shankar, who Leela's father, and
Leela's father, Mr. Shiva Shankar, and
mother.
mother, Mrs. Shiva Shankar, was one of the two other characters. Are apart from that, there was another a couple of two other characters.
Police inspector and the constable.
Yes, a police inspector and a constable. So we all know that Mr. Shiva Shankar, who belongs to a very aristocratic and upper class family, upper class society, part of the society. He works in an office. He has a family, and in his family, his wife is there, and their only daughter is Leela. And by the end of the story, we find out something about Shiva Shankar. What do we find out about him? What do we come to know about him? About his character, Mr. Shiva Shankar. At the end of this story, how do we look at Mr. Shiva Shankar? Can anyone tell me? কি রকমের মানুষ আমরা দেখছি শিব শঙ্করকে যখন গল্পের শেষে এসে তাকে যখন দেখছি, তাকে কি ধরনের মানুষ হিসেবে আমরা দেখছি বলো? বলতে পারবে না? নিশ্চয়ই পারবে। বেরগ্রাম থেকে বলো। You've already seen that. What kind of... Okay, my question is, was he a very kind, very humane, very a person who believed in equality and was a just person? Do you feel that way? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very simple question. What do you think? যে গল্পের শেষে মিস্টার শিবশঙ্করকে যখন আমরা দেখছি, তিনি খুব মনে হচ্ছে দয়ালু, ভালো মানুষ, এবং ন্যায়সঙ্গত কাজ করেছেন, এরকম মনে হচ্ছে নাকি ভিন্ন? বলো। Yes, tell me.
পুরো ভিন্ন মনে হচ্ছে, কারণ তিনি পুরো জিনিসটা না জানা সত্ত্বেই তার আগেই তিনি সিদাকে পুলিশের হাতে তুলে দেন। তো সেটা বিবরণ অনুসারে ওটি পুরো উল্টো।
Absolutely, he's very unjust. He's not having that human quality. He's very inhuman, and that is what we find out at the end of the story. Very good. Where is Mrs. Shiva Shankar? She is a wife of Mr. Shiva Shankar and mother of Leela. She also has a kind of a prejudice, a kind of a pride in her. She is very suspicious about different things, and especially the lower class people. She is very suspicious about them. She does not trust them. She does not believe them. She is not very kind to the servants of her house. So she is always suspicious about these lower class people. And especially here, the character is Sida, who is being victimized by this family. Okay, so that is Shiva Shankar and Mrs. Shiva Shankar. Mr. Shiva Shankar and Mrs. Shiva Shankar. Now, how is Leela? Leela is a very, very young girl. maybe only 5 years old, but she has that, these 5 years girls. Like I remember about Kabuliwala, the story written by Tagore, where we have a similar girl named Minnie. And Minnie is also very bossy and very, bold, upfront, and talkative girl, Minnie. So we have a similar character that we find in Leela. And there also we find Leela being a friend of Kabuliwala. And here we find in this story, Sida and Leela becomes friend. And she trusts Sida. She could kind of rely and believe and have faith in Sida. And this is where I think R.K. Narayan is using this girl to raise a voice, to express his angst, express his pain about this discrimination, about the lower class people and the upper class people, the discrimination, the way the upper class people hates the lower class people and suspects them to be wrong people. This way of looking is something that R.K. Narayan wants to voice and against, and he also wants to express his concern about it. If you see Swami Vivekananda said that there is one reason why our country fails in so many things, or why we can consider our country to be backward, and that is this discrimination between the upper class and upper caste and lower caste, this caste system, and how the upper caste people treats the lower caste people. So this discrimination that is rampant in the society has been a concern for Swami Vivekananda also. And we see that similar kind of concern in R.K. Narayan's story, this Leela's friend, where through Leela's presence, through this girl, he wants to voice that concern. তোমরা আশা করি সবাই বুঝেছো, যদি এইটা যেটা আমি এখন বললাম, যে আমাদের মধ্যে এই যে বর্ণ বিদ্বেষ এবং বিশেষ করে গরিব এবং নিচু জাতের মানুষের প্রতি উঁচু জাত এবং বড়লোকদের যে অবমাননা, যে অবহেলা, যে অত্যাচার, এবং এই যে উঁচু বর্ণের মানুষের নিচু বর্ণের মানুষের প্রতি তাদের যে শঙ্কা, সংশয়, তাদের যে সন্দেহ, অমূলক সন্দেহ, সেইগুলোকে লেখক R.K. নারায়ণ এই গল্পের মাধ্যমে প্রকাশ করতে চেয়েছেন, এবং একটা প্রতিবাদী ভাষা তিনি লীলার মধ্যে দিয়ে তৈরি করতে চেয়েছেন বা প্রকাশিত করতে চেয়েছেন। আর আমাদের এই গল্পের যে মূলে রয়েছে, যে মূল চরিত্র সিদা, যে সেন্ট্রাল ক্যারেক্টার অফ দ্য স্টোরি, হি ইজ লীলাস সোলমেট। এই যে সোলমেট বলে, প্রিয় বন্ধু, যাকে তুমি বিশ্বাস করতে পারো, যাকে তুমি তোমার সমস্ত মনের কথা, তোমার যন্ত্রণা, ভালো লাগা, ভালোবাসা পরিষ্কার করে বলতে পারো। তোমাদের মধ্যেও অনেকে তোমাদের সোলমেট রয়েছে ক্লাসে, হ্যাঁ, একে অপরের প্রতি অগাধ বিশ্বাস তোমাদের রয়েছে। ঠিক সিদা আর লীলার মধ্যে সেই বন্ধন ছিল, এবং একে অপরকে তারা ভীষণভাবে বিশ্বাস করত, ভালোবাসতো, একে অপরের প্রতি তাদের একটা শ্রদ্ধা ছিল, যেটা এই বড় যে যারা চরিত্রগুলো রয়েছে, যারা বয়স্ক চরিত্র, শিবশঙ্কর, মিসেস শিবশঙ্কর, তাদের কারো নেই। অ্যান্ড সিডা কাদের রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছে? সিডা ওই লোয়ার ক্লাস যাদের কথা বলছিলাম, নিচু জাতের মানুষ, নিম্ন বর্ণের মানুষ, গরিব মানুষ, তাদের উপর যে শোষণ, তাদের উপর যে অত্যাচার, তাদের উপর যে ধরনের অমানবিক কর্মকাণ্ড ঘটেছে, উঁচুতলার মানুষেরা যেটা করেছে, সেই অপ্রেশন, সেই নির্দয় ভাবে তাদের উপরে যেভাবে অত্যাচার করা হয়েছে, সেইগুলোকে এখানে তার প্রতীক হিসেবে সিডাকে আমরা দেখছি। এবং সিডার উপর সেই ইল ট্রিটমেন্ট, তাকে ভুল বোঝা হচ্ছে, তাকে সন্দেহ করা হচ্ছে অকারণে, এবং তার সঙ্গে দুর্ব্যবহার করা হচ্ছে, এবং শুধু দুর্ব্যবহার নয়, অকারণে তাকে শাস্তিও পেতে হচ্ছে। তো এই ধরনের চরিত্র হচ্ছে সিডা। তাহলে আমরা মিস্টার শিবশঙ্কর, মিসেস শিবশঙ্কর, লীলা, সিডা দেখলাম। এরপর দুটো খুব বেশি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ চরিত্র নয়, তারা হচ্ছে একজন পুলিশ ইন্সপেক্টর, সেও উঁচু বর্ণের একজন মানুষ, এবং শিবশঙ্করের বন্ধু স্থানীয়, আপার ক্লাস, হি বিলংস টু দি আপার ক্লাস সোসাইটি, and he is also Mr. Shivashankar's friend, and he arrested Sida, and the way he treats Sida is extremely kind of devastating, and we find that he becomes furious with Mr. Shivashankar for not consulting before keeping a servant like Sida. সিডাকে চাকর রাখার আগে কেন পুলিশকে জানাননি, কেন তার বন্ধুর সঙ্গে আলোচনা করা হয়নি, এই ধরনের একটা রাগ, বন্ধুর প্রতি ভালোবাসা মিশ্রিত রাগ তিনি দেখাচ্ছেন, আমরা দেখছি তার চরিত্রের মধ্যে। এবং তিনি খুব বন্ধু হিসেবে ভীষণ ভালো, কিন্তু as a police inspector, he is not also a good judge. He is not able to judge who is a criminal and who is not. কে চোর নয়, এই বোধটিও তার মধ্যে আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি না। তার যে খুব এ বিষয়ে সচেতন, সেটাও আমরা বুঝতে পারছি না। আর আরেকজন অবশ্যই একজন কনস্টেবল, যে পুলিশ ইন্সপেক্টরের অ্যাসোসিয়েট, যে পুলিশ ইন্সপেক্টরের সঙ্গে আসে। He also brings Sida to police station, and he is basically a person who is following the orders of the inspector. So he has not a major role to play, but he follows what the inspector is saying. So in the story, we find these important characters: Mr. Shivashankar, Mrs. Shivashankar, we find Leela, we find Sida, we find a police inspector and a constable. We will deal with the entire story next class. And one class, because you've already done the story, I think in one class we'll be able to finish. I'll give you a brief synopsis of the story, and then I will ask you question and answers. So please be prepared, because you have already done this. I will try to show a video if it is available on the net. I will try to show a video. I hope today you have understood what these characters are like. যে চরিত্রগুলোকে নিয়ে এই গল্পটা তৈরি হচ্ছে, তাদের সম্পর্কে তোমাদের একটা ধারণা হয়েছে, এবং তোমাদের RK নারায়ণের সম্পর্কে একটা brief introduction in the video. You saw that how he created an imaginary place called Malgudi, এবং সেই মালগুডিতে কি কি ঘটনা ঘটছে, যেটা তার গল্পের বিভিন্ন বিষয় আমরা এই মালগুডি ডেজ উপন্যাসটিতে বিভিন্ন চ্যাপ্টারে সেগুলো পাই। তারই মধ্যে একটি গল্প হচ্ছে লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড, এবং সেই লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড আমরা পড়ছি। এবং RK Narayan, as I told you, is one of the leading Indian writers who wrote in English, along with Muntaraj Anand and Raja Rao and others. Okay, so with this brief note, we will end today's class. We will continue with the class next week. I would just like to know, before I call this class off, what is your last working day? When is the puja holidays beginning? Shivpur? Can you tell me what is your last working day?
17th October, sir.
17th October. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. So we will meet in the next class with the story. I think we will have one more class and then we are going to have puja holidays. Thank you.